thorn, or if you translate as misfortunate, it has a slightly different meaning. Why are considered? Because socially, women were not allowed to perform Vedic rituals. Like you have this in Krishna Lila. What happens with the Yagic Brahmanas? They are very much focused on their yagya, and Krishna and Balaram, Supreme Personality of Godhead, come and ask, we are hungry. And they say, get lost, almost. We are too busy. We are too busy being religious. But because women go shopping, they were going shopping at that time also. They went to the market and they would associate with the gopis. And gopis were telling them about Krishna. And they heard, oh, Krishna is so nice. And when they hear Krishna is here, Krishna is hungry, they immediately attended to Krishna and Balaram. So you can see from one side, they were say, unfortunate not to participate in the Vedic ritual, but they had natural affection for Krishna. As soon as they heard about Krishna, it's called Purvaraga. Purvaraga means you don't see God, you don't see Krishna, but because they heard about him, they had raga, they had affection for him. So you can say they were unfortunate, but they were also very fortunate, because they were not constrained by this, oh, you know, you should raise your finger like this, you should move here, this, that, you know, this flower should be here, all this, that. They were not, because yeah, Krishna is God, they were naturally attracted. So from that point of view, they were not socially allowed to participate as equally as men. And you see this principle today also, even in ISKCON. In ISKCON, in West, you can see a woman pujari, a lady pujari. But if you go to India, you won't see that. Again, still this social consideration is very strong. Another category that is being branded as papayona or misfortunate or low birth are Vaishyas. And in commentary to this verse, or merchants, why Vaishya considered a bit misfortunate? Because it's their duty to, what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, that because Vaishyas lie, they cheat, merchants, and making no profit. But if they don't behave like this, they cannot succeed. So it's kind of, for them it's okay. Because if I don't see, okay, I'm making this deal here, a little bit of here, there, but you have to kind of be a little bit duplicitous, what is called kutinati, diplomatic behavior. And then if in 19th chapter of Madhya Lila, Rupa Goswami is saying, if you have this kutinati, diplomacy, that's not good for devotional life. You have to be straightforward. But Vaishya is a little bit, little bit deal here on the side. So they are considered misfortunate. And Shudras, because Shudras are naturally serving others. And if the master is bad, then Shudra has a master who is not very religious, then Shudra just serves him or her. But from a spiritual point of view, what is actually the purpose of this verse is that nobody is God or spirituality is for everybody, irregardless of our background. That's the actual purpose of this verse, what is Prabhupada stating here. And he clarifies, a low life means a life without Krishna consciousness, or life without God consciousness. God is for everybody, and nobody is disqualified. One only has to have an initial desire. That's the only thing. And that's, everybody can attain the supreme goal, Paramgati. And if you think about us, like what things we did before and what was our life, that was not our disqualification. We would not even fall in this category. We were completely outside of any Vedic things or any Vedic injunctions that were mentioned in this verse. If you just consider ourselves, but because all of us had something, some desire, and that was enough. And because of this desire, all of us are here now. And then Prabhupada goes further in saying it's actually a sin to consider a Vaishnava from a material point of view. It's actually not, it's actually, if you say to somebody, oh, you are Brahmana, to a devotee, that's actually, in a way, it's not a compliment. Because to be a Vaishnava is much higher than to be a Brahmana. You can say, a Vaishnava with a Brahminical nature. That's a proper thing to say. Vaishnava with a Vaishya nature, or Vaishnava with a Kshatriya nature. And then sometimes you see like devotees, oh, I don't want to be a Shudra, like Shudra, that's something low. But Shudra is actually a person who is honest, obedient. And Ramananda Roy was also considered himself a Shudra, so you are in a good company if you feel that it's nothing wrong. Another aspect that is interesting in all this Leela is how Ramananda Roy saw himself. You can see like in the previous verses, he's saying, by His mercy I have received your interview here. Consequently, I consider that today I have become a successful human being. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan Himself, and I am only the government servant interested in materialistic activities. Indeed, I am the lowest among men of the fourth caste. There is this subjective and objective thing. Although objectively he was a pure devotee, but he saw himself as a very low, as an unworthy of God's presence, unworthy in being Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association. So this great humility is the quality of a devotee. But it has to be genuine thing. Like if you read Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sharanagati, he thinks about himself, he says, I was happy when others were suffering. And I was in great pain when others were doing good. He thinks about himself like this, and he considers him very low. I'm the lowest. And although he's objectively speaking, he's the pure devotee, servant of the Lord, but he thinks of himself like this. So that's the first quality of devotee, amanitvam, like trinadapi sunichena. Devotee thinks himself, but it's naturally humble. Because why? Like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that I am the ability in man. Every good quality that I have comes from God, comes from you. And the advancement of knowledge is shown through humility. Another interesting aspect in all this Leela, what is happening through all this place, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking instruction from somebody else. Again, aspect of humility. Again, from a social point of view, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi, a brahmana, and then he takes instruction from somebody who is just a guy from the street, just having a 9-to-5 job. And then goes to him, okay, can you tell me something about Krishna? Again, another aspect of humility. And Ramananda Roy in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions that Ramananda Roy was specially empowered of the knowledge of rasa. And this is what he's teaching now. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking him, okay, tell me, if you consider the scriptures, what is the goal of life? And then you will hear later in this. And then Ramananda Roy says, it's this. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, it's not that. He's saying, tell me just a little bit more, and then it goes higher and higher and higher. And philosophically, this is a very important thing. Like if you read Brihad Bhagavatamrita, you will see that when Gopkumar and Narada Muni in the first part is searching, Narada Muni is searching for the best devotee. Who is the best devotee? And then he goes to Indra, Brahma, Shiva, and finally ends up with the gopis. The gopis are the best devotees. And in the second part, Gopakumar is traveling all over the universe. He goes to different places, Shiva Loka, Ayodhya, and then finally ends up Vrindavan. So that's the highest place. So the two main points of Brihad Bhagavatamrita is that gopis are the best devotees, and that Vrindavan, that's the highest place. And a similar point is being made here.